Hello and welcome back. You are listening to the C9 Podcast Show. I'm Lex.
And I'm Vera.
And we're just thrilled to have you here for another deep dive.
Absolutely.
To all our regulars and, the followers of the C9 business page, a huge welcome back. Today, we're really tuning our frequency for a specific group.
We are. We're talking to you, the Australian business owners, the C-level executives.
Yep, the decision makers, the people steering the ship through, let's face it, the pretty unique economic waters of the mid-20s.
That's it. And if you're looking to sharpen your operational edge, but, without drowning in technical manuals, you are in exactly the right place.
You really are. It is Monday, February 2nd, 2026.
And we are well and truly into the year. And if you look around, automation isn't just a trend anymore, is it? It's like the operating system of modern business.
It's everywhere. It's in logistics, customer service.
It's practically in the water supply.
It feels like it. But, we've been talking about this automation revolution for years now. And here's the friction point. That's why we're doing this today. Despite all the hype, all the AI agents, the fancy tools, I keep hearing the same thing.
What's that?
If automation is so easy, why are so many projects still, burning a hole in the balance sheet instead of actually putting money in the bank?
That is the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? We see so much AI fatigue in the boardroom.
Totally.
Executives were promised that generative AI would just fix everything with a magic wand. But the reality on the ground, it's often messy.
Especially with legacy systems.
Exactly. It gets expensive and it gets frustrating.
So, our mission today is to unpack this really insightful guide. It's called Maximizing ROI through Strategic Bespoke RTA Engineering.
It's a great one.
We're going to dig into why off-the-shelf tools so often break, why that phrase discovery call shouldn't make you roll your eyes, and how to actually get a return on your investment.
And we're going to look at how to avoid the dangerous rise of the AI cowboys.
There it is.
And how C9's specific engineering approach really changes the game for Australian businesses who are looking for reliability, not just hype.
I love that term, AI cowboy. It sounds cool, almost cinematic.
Like a Western movie with robots.
Yeah. But I'm guessing in the context of your P&L statement, it is not a compliment.
It is definitely not a compliment. It's a warning.
Okay, so let's unpack that. It's 2026. The tools are better than ever. Who are these AI cowboys?
So the source material describes them as a specific archetype that's really exploded over the last couple of years.
Right.
They're often, your low-cost app builders, solo freelancers, or what we call tool-first vendors, and they pitch you on speed.
Right. We can automate your entire account's payable workflow over a weekend.
That's the one, using the latest AI templates or some no-code builder.
Well, playing devil's advocate here. Who doesn't want it done over a weekend? That sounds fantastic on paper.
Right.
Speed to market, right?
It does. And that is the trap. The guide introduces a concept called vibes coding.
Vibes coding. Okay, I feel like I've seen that on social media. It sounds very Gen Z. What does it actually mean for a business?
It refers to quick, undocumented hacks. So essentially, the code or the automation flow, it's built to look right. The vibe works.
In a demo.
In a demo, on a Zoom call, it clicks the right buttons, data moves from A to B, everyone claps. But there is just no substance underneath.
It's like a Hollywood movie set. The front of the building looks amazing, but if you lean on it, you fall right through into the mud.
Exactly. And the danger isn't the demo, it's what happens when the vibe wears off, say, 3 weeks later.
Right.
And the source highlights 3 massive risks here. First, no documentation. The code is totally opaque. When that freelancer moves on or just stops replying to emails.
You have no idea how this critical piece of your operation actually works. You're flying blind.
Completely. Second, the integrations are fragile. They rely on things like hard-coded selectors or screen scraping.
So the robot is literally looking for a specific pixel on the screen.
Precisely. So if your ERP software updates its font size or moves a button 3 pixels to the left,
the whole thing crashes. And suddenly your accounts team is screaming because 500 invoices aren't getting paid.
Correct. And the third risk, and this is probably the most critical for our Australian listeners, is the security gap.
Okay.
These cowboy builds take shortcuts with data handling to save time. And in Australia, with our strict Privacy Act, you just can't afford to have a bot moving customer data through insecure channels.
So that quick fix from the AI cowboy turns into a long-term compliance nightmare.
It leads to huge operational risk and, well, inevitably manual overrides.
Yeah.
You end up paying people to watch the bots.
Which completely defeats the purpose of the bot in the first place. You're paying twice.
Exactly.
So that brings us to the alternative. The guide talks a lot about bespoke RPA. Now, I want to challenge this a bit. Bespoke sounds expensive. It sounds like a custom-tailored Italian suit. Why is the argument that custom is better than just buying a standard bot off the shelf?
Well, first we need to be clear on what RPA means in 2026. A few years ago, robotic process automation was just, well, it was dumb bots that click.
A macro recording, basically.
Yeah, very rudimentary. Today, bespoke RPA is the intersection of process engineering, AI augmentation, and secure integration. It's grown up.
Okay.
And for Australian businesses, that bespoke part is crucial. Think about the businesses we talk to. Every single one has a unique legacy system.
Right, you've got your shiny new CRM, but you've also got that on-premise SQL database from 2015 that nobody wants to touch.
That's the one that IT guy is terrified of.
Yep.
An off-the-shelf tool assumes you have a perfect modern tech stack. It breaks when it hits that kind of complexity. Bespoke RPA is designed for your systems, your data flows.
So it avoids what the source calls the long tail of technical debt.
It should, because with bespoke engineering, you're not just patching a hole, you're building a proper bridge. The outcomes are significant processing times dropping from hours to minutes, lower error rate.
And scalability without, what was the phrase, brittle rework?
Brittle rework. That's when you have to fix the bot every time the wind changes direction.
Right.
A bespoke solution is engineered to handle load. If your volume doubles, it scales. A vibes-coded solution, it just snaps.
So it's about building a foundation, not just a Band-Aid on a broken leg.
Precisely.
Okay, now I want to pivot to something that I know makes some business owners, well, bristle. I can hear the collective groan already. The discovery call.
Ah, yes.
The dreaded discovery call.
Source material is pretty aggressive on this. It says discovery calls are not sales theater. But come on, isn't this just a way for a consultancy to charge me for a meeting where they sell me more stuff? I get the skepticism, I really do. We've all been in those meetings. But the data in the guide is compelling. It states that skipping discovery is the single biggest predictor of cost overruns and delayed benefits.
The single biggest. That is a bold claim.
It is, but it holds up. Because without discovery, you are guessing. You're trying to price a house without looking at the land it's on.
Okay.
What a proper discovery process does is it maps the who, what, where, and why of a process. It surfaces all that hidden complexity we just talked about.
Like what? Give me an example of an edge case that just breaks a project.
Okay, so a standard invoicing process. But then you find out that Bob from accounting has to manually approve any invoice from one specific supplier because their ABN format glitches the system.
And that step is not in the handbook. It's in Bob's head.
Exactly. It's tribal knowledge. If you skip discovery, you miss Bob's manual step. You build a bot that fails 100% of the time for that supplier. Then you have to stop, pay for a developer to fix it.
And that's your scope creep right there.
That's your scope creep. Discovery defines what done actually looks like. It sets the KPIs and the ROI metrics before a single line of code is written.
So without it, you're essentially handing a contractor a blank check and hoping for the best.
You're inviting disaster. The source puts it really well. Discovery lets you price to the nearest day or week, not just a vague guess. It turns an unknown expense into a calculated investment.
Speaking of expenses, let's talk numbers. Let's get into the weeds of the pricing, because the guide has this great example of indicative pricing versus real pricing.
This is the aha moment for a lot of executives.
Okay, so the scenario is a company needs to automate invoice processing, say 3,000 invoices a month. Pretty standard mid-sized Aussie business.
Very common scenario, yeah.
So vendor A, the AI cowboy, quotes 200 hours at $100 an hour. That's $20,000 total. Sounds like a bargain.
It sounds great. The CFO looks at that and says, sign it. But it's a trap.
Why?
Because that quote only covers the happy path.
The perfect scenario where nothing ever goes wrong.
Exactly. The invoice is perfect, the system's online, the sun is shining. It excludes API integration, exception handling, staff training, all the real stuff.
And then there's the C9 discovery-based approach. The source estimates that at 360 hours. So that puts the price at roughly $36,000. That is a big jump.
It is $16,000 more.
So why on earth would anyone pay the higher price?
Because the cheap price isn't real. That $20,000 project will balloon to $40,000, maybe $50,000, once you realize the bot can't handle a PDF instead of a JPEG.
So you paid $20,000 for a broken bot, or $36,000 for one that actually works.
That's it. The bespoke estimate includes 60 hours just for exception handling, teaching the bot what to do when things go wrong. It has 40 hours of user acceptance testing. It guarantees the outcome.
That makes sense. But still, $36,000 is a big chunk of change up front. Cash flow is king.
And that's where the staged delivery strategy comes in. This is a key part of C9's methodology that I think is brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
They don't ask you to build the whole Death Star on day one.
I like that. Keep it simple at first.
Exactly. Phase 1 might just be 30 days. And the goal? Automate 60% of the invoices, the easy ones. That takes maybe 120 hours.
So you get the bulk of the work done really fast.
Right. And here's the magic. Phase 1 goes live in month 2. It immediately starts saving you money on those invoices. And you use those savings to fund Phase 2.
Ah, so it becomes self-funding.
It changes the psychology from a massive sunk cost to a continuous reinvestment. You're using the robot's own productivity to pay for its own upgrades.
That is smart. It de-risks the whole project financially.
Precisely.
Okay, let's shift gears to the human side of this. We've talked about code and Cowboys, but people are building this stuff. The source talks about C9's blended hybrid model. How is that different from just hiring a freelancer on a marketplace?
It's night and day, really. The marketplace model gives you a single freelancer, often offshore, different time zone, questionable accountability.
Right. If things go wrong, good luck getting them on the phone during Sydney business hours.
Forget about it. And the big consultancies, they charge you a fortune for local partners who barely touch the keyboard.
So what does hybrid mean?
It means you have onshore, client-facing leads and architects, people here in Australia who get the local culture, the privacy laws, your time zone. But to keep costs down, the heavy engineering is done by their dedicated offshore teams.
So you get local accountability without the fully local price tag. Best of both worlds.
Exactly. And you don't just get a head, you get a whole team. An architect, a QA specialist, a developer, a project manager.
That sounds robust, but the guide also mentions a 3 to 6 month minimum for staff augmentation. In a gig economy world, isn't that a bit restrictive?
It might seem that way, but think about it. It takes weeks just to learn a client's business and get secure system access.
That's true. By the time IT approves the VPN, a month's gone by.
Right. If you hire someone for a month, they spend 3 weeks onboarding and 1 week working. A 3 to 6 month engagement allows for meaningful features to be built. It ensures the team is actually productive.
Okay, that makes sense. And there's one more point here that I think is a massive advantage. The anti-lock-in philosophy.
This is huge. Usually, vendors love lock-in. They want to be the only ones who know how the bot works, so you have to keep paying them forever.
Job security through obscurity, the oldest trick in the IT book.
But C9 takes the opposite approach. Knowledge transfer is standard. They give you the runbooks, the documentation, the training, so that you, the client, own the automation.
So if you want to take it in-house down the track, you actually can. You're not held hostage.
You hold the keys to the car.
That shows a lot of confidence. If they're willing to teach you how to fix it, they must be pretty sure you'll want to keep working with them.
It builds trust. And in 2026, trust is the most valuable currency there is in tech.
So let's just summarize this journey. We started with the AI Cowboys.
The vibes coders who deliver a house of cards.
Then we moved to bespoke RPA engineering solutions that actually fit your business and comply with Australian law.
We learned that discovery isn't a sales tactic. It's the only way to get accurate pricing.
And we saw the math, how spending a bit more upfront actually costs you less, especially with a staged delivery model.
And finally, the team model hybrid, scalable, and focused on handing the knowledge back to you.
It's a comprehensive roadmap, really.
It is, for any executive looking to automate in 2026 without getting burned.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? If you're in an office in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and you're staring at a process that is just eating up your team's time, don't just throw a cheap tool at it.
Don't be seduced by the vibe. Look for the engineering.
The source material we covered today comes from C9. They are Australia's leading custom software, apps, integration, and database developer company.
Right.
If the headaches we described sound familiar, the opaque pricing, the broken bots, the compliance worries, then you really need to talk to them.
And don't just browse the website. Based on everything we've talked about, the most valuable thing you can do is book a discovery call.
Specifically, a 60 to 90-minute discovery call. Map your processes, get a real roadmap, find out what the real price is, not the happy path price.
You can find them at www.c9.com.au.
That's the letter C, the number 9.com.oe.
Look, custom RPA is an investment that pays back quickly, but only if you do it with discipline. Don't buy on price alone. Buy on measurable ROI and local accountability.
And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, if you had an aha moment, Do us a quick favor. Click that follow button on your podcast player right now.
And share this with another business owner or executive who really needs to hear it.
Thank you so much for listening. We are the team from the C9 Podcast Show. I'm Lex.
And I'm Vera.
And we'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.